What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? This is your brother Shabazz coming at you one more time today before I call it a night. Had this idea come to me. Stop scrolling. If you're checking this out, stop scrolling. Pay attention. Got some information for you. I got another fresh perspective for you, is what I got. So, yes, please stop scrolling. Y'all know you're gonna want to hear this. They fired everybody, right? Y'all know this. They fired everybody, or so they thought. They've been trying to get rid of everybody, especially the black and the brown. And they still lost. This was the thing. Yeah, I'm still talking about the elections, but not just the elections. It ain't just about the election. I'm talking about what the election represents. This is, whether you know it or not, whether they call it this or not, I haven't heard anybody say it, but I'm not saying I'm the only one. I'm pretty sure is people gonna recognize it and realize it is what it is. But all of this blue wave is the rebirth of DEI, and it's happening right now. So thank you to the Matt Walshes of the world. Thank you to the Nick Fuentes of the world. And all the rest of you, I'm not gonna disparage all the rest of you alt-right folk who like to cry white fatigue. Well, go take a nap. Because understand this, we sick and tired of y'all too. Black fatigue, brown fatigue, DEI fatigue. We tired of y'all complaining about stuff you ain't got no business complaining about. And DEI wins, or when DEI is victorious inside the election booth, that shows you where the real DEI is. Yeah, so, ladies and gentlemen, this is your brother Shabazz. If you're checking this out, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments and your thoughts and your opinions on the battlefield of the comment section. We can duke it out there. I don't mind you having a difference of opinion. I'm quite used to it. But welcome to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe is the name of the game. But let's get into this thing. What if I told you that their biggest victory was actually a massive strategic failure? And by there, I'm talking about the alt-right. I'm talking about the Matt Walshes of the world. I'm talking about the Nick Fuentes of the world. I'm talking about Sorry Charlie. Because they like to get on their platforms and cheer and claim they're winning or claim they've won. They are celebrating. They are hoo-ha about the firing of black women. And they are head over heels joyous about ending DEI programs in the corporate world. And then the November 4th elections comes around. And what do we see? While they were partying, we were registering to vote. That's why they've automatically, instantaneously begun attacking the voting. Now they want to make sure they can decrease the vote again. Now they want to bring back stronger voter ID card tactics and ploys. Now they want to get rid of absentee ballots, mail-in ballots. Why? Because they always lose. The more and more people register to vote, the more and more people tune in and pay attention to the hogwash coming out their mouth, the more and more people want to show up when it's voting time. And they know that spells trouble. Trouble. So, yes, while they were partying, celebrating the successful establishment and completion of all of the objectives of Project 2025, the rest of us was talking amongst ourselves, plan, plot, and strategize. A transformation was underway. A comeback was underway. A comeback, a transformation, one might say is akin to some ideas, some symbolisms that reach as far back as ancient Egypt. What in the world is you talking about? I thought you said you would be talking about politics and the voting. I am. Stick around. because the evidence is everywhere when you know how to look for it. And y'all know on this channel, we look beyond the smoke and mirrors. Y'all know on this channel, we put puzzle pieces together. So that's what we about to do. So let me just start off. The corporate backfire. Let's talk about the corporate capitulation. The boycotts have been going on strong. Target is feeling the heat. Bud Light is scared. You know, they thought that by leaning to the right, they thought that by appealing to the hate, they would see more dollar signs. But Target is hurting. Now I'm going to show you the 3 election results. We're going to continue talking about the election results. And it's more than 3. That's the thing. I got a nice long list for you, ladies and gentlemen. And this list just shatters the entire narrative that DEI is dead. DEI didn't die. It came back multiplied. But first, let's look a little bit closer. Let's just talk a little bit about Target. The Target swaps, the CEO, what is it called? Musical chairs and their financial pains, their hunger pains. They tried to appease the mob, the crazy, hate-filled mob, the ethno-nationalists. And would you look at how it backfired? This isn't just a win for, let me see, how do I want to say that? The way in which Target fumbled the bag, I thought we were supposed to be securing the bag in this country. The way in which Target fumbled the bag, it's not just a win for DEI, although it don't necessarily look like that. Of course, a lot of black and brown companies, they're hurting when, their products were taken off the shelves. That's a smaller battle. The bigger picture, we always got to take a look at, because you can still access many of those brands. You just go to their website instead of trying to walk around Target. Target looked like a ghost town. But more importantly, it's a lesson in what happens when you know how to fight back. Now, Kwame Ture said it probably best when he said, we must organize. And that's what happened. All throughout the streets, we was organizing. Organize the vote. Register to vote. Come out and vote. You can vote in the booth on the day of. You can vote beforehand. You can mail in your ballot. But vote. And that ballot box tells the tale. So you might ask, like, sometimes it's like the way in which the alt-right talks, America doesn't want this. What America? Y'all talking about this little small, teeny, tiny corners. I know it don't seem like they small, teeny, tiny. They actually feel like it's the bulk of, especially the way in which they came out in droves in November. But look how they fumbled the bag since November. So the real America started saying, wait a minute, we can't let these folks represent. Not like that. And these whole No Kings protests. Yeah, there's all kind of things that can be said about the No Kings protests. Use all kind of positive, all kind of negative. But the fact that they're happening, the fact that they're organized, the fact that they have been regularly scheduled and attended shows you DEI is not dead. Because in actuality, you don't look at the corporate boardrooms to get a real pulse, to get a real understanding of where the country is at, how it's feeling. Now you can look at the ballot box. You can look at the streets. So when it comes to this election, when it comes to these marches, these parades, these rallies, these protests, that show you what people really think. There is no anti-DEI in the ballot box. There is no anti-DEI in the No Kings rallies. Now, look, y'all already know this. I ain't got to tell you. New York City, immigrant Muslim mayor. New Jersey, woman governor. Virginia, woman governor. First Black attorney general ever. This is the living, breathing DEI. And this is the part that the Matt Walshes of the world don't want you to process. And they come on my channel often. And they hit me up with all of the talking points. And I think it cute because while the talking points sound good, none of them ever hold up to scrutiny. In all actuality, as far as the ballot is concerned, the blue wave is the DEI mandate. It's the people's mandate. And it leads us to a proper perspective on all things politic. Now, what do I mean by that? What is the proper perspective on all of this? It's not about death. It's not about the death of DEI. Now, we might can say, they, in one respect, they had some elements of DEI in the trash can. They had it on its deathbed. But as we learn in ancient Egypt, death is only transformation. Death is not permanent. And so, yes, the Cometics, they understood this deeply. They taught that the Kepler beetle, that was their representative, their symbol, the dung beetle, was a powerful reminder for this very representative type of transformation. It was the ultimate symbol of change and rebirth, pushing along despite whatever odds and obstacles, and somehow taking everything that you may think of, that others may think of as garbage, as waste, as problematic, and creating new life. This is exactly what we are witnessing with the DEI blue wave of the election campaigns. Now, the alt-right thought they were dealing with something fragile, but they only succeeded in pushing it into a new, more powerful form. They tried to bury it, yes, indeed, and they thought they were successful, yes, indeed. One of their own most favored and cherished spokespersons, who is no longer amongst us. Now, if that isn't a representation, but even though they tried to bury it, they did not realize all they were really doing is planting a seed, because DEI is evolving. No longer a corporate initiative. Now it's in the streets. Now it's a civic initiative. Now it's with the citizens. And it's being reborn, just like the Kepler beetle. And guess what? It's more resilient than ever. So I want to say, I'm trying to come up with a couple of extra metaphors. Because the anti-DEI crowd, the Trump administration, Taco Man, orangutan, they're like it's like a dragon. And let's be clear, you're not going to get rid of a dragon easily. The dragon is not going to go down without a fight. And we see this playing out in real time right now with all of their antics, all of their gaslighting. The Trump administration vowing to continue the government shutdown and gaslighting everybody as if we believe them into thinking it's the Democrats. Again, it just like, you cannot stress this enough. If you got the power to shut it down without any help, then you should have the power to open it up without any help. But what are they doing? Vowing to continue layoffs, Now they're putting the air traffic controllers in their sights, promising to ground the entire country. Now, some of my conspiracy theorist friends, you see, I heard a tale of a clandestine attempt to keep everyone closed off, so to speak. They don't want us traveling, is what they say. And I thought about it, and I mean, conspiracy theorists, they're interesting. I'm not saying I don't believe in it. I'm not saying I do. They are interesting. But I do think it of value to note, well, they can't trick us with the COVID scare again. So what other way could they induce mass shutdownism? They could just shut down the government. They can just stop cutting checks. But conspiracy theory aside, it is of grave importance to note that they are in a bit of a panic. This DEI manifested blue wave is real. And like I said, it's not just in the voting booths, and they know that. But what else? Where else do we see it? It is a fact that there are judges holding them accountable the same way the voters did. There are judges sending them clear and present messages the same way voters did. And some of those same judges, they themselves were appointed by the Trump administration. And they too have told that man, you can't do that. Now, of course, as dictators do, as authoritarians, as fascists do, they just ignore the rules. But the rule of law is speaking very loudly and clearly to him. You can't deport these people. He doing it anyway. You cannot withhold money from the SNAP benefits program. He doing it anyway. Now, maybe he going to change his mind. The judge gave him till Friday, so that's tomorrow. So maybe he'll change his mind. But what we see here is the beginning of the slaying of the dragon. We see a perfect example of how the system works in full scope, the big picture. It still hurts down here in the weeds. It still hurts on the everyday regular. But the light is coming. The dragon will be slayed. Now, it's very interesting. Like, let me just remind you. Because Trump wanted to funnel money away from critical programs before. He tried to take money from farmers. That didn't work out too well. And so even with this SNAP, the modern day, with the EBT situation, the judges said, and get this, when there were two judges that told him you can't do this, but one in particular was a woman. That's what I mean. I almost lost my train of thought. The DEI component. It's a reason why they're trying to let go of women. It's a reason why they keep saying we want our women at home. Because when women get in the workforce, they hold you accountable. So let that resonate. The same forces that are trying to dismantle DEI, the forces that target Black women in corporations and rail against diversity, the same forces being checked and balanced by the very diversity they fear. A woman on the bench, upholding the law, protecting the vulnerable from the powerful. That is exactly why he is trying to put the other Black woman in jail. This is DEI in action. We don't always need the corporate level. It's nice to have, it's great to have, but it's more important to have a powerful DEI voice platform in government. The corporate seminars is secondhand, really. DEI in itself is the dragon slayer. It is the diverse judiciary that protects our rights. It is the Black Attorney General in Virginia who will prosecute without fear or favor, who will sue the Trump administration to get that money for the SNAP EBT program. It is the immigrant mayor in New York who understands the needs of a modern city. And though he has detractors talking about, well, I don't believe he can do it. Well, you can, but you definitely believe he gonna try. You don't believe anybody else was gonna try. So when the alt-right, when MAGA, when birthers, when Tea Party, when QAnon Trump supporters cry and scream, white fatigue, just realize, understand, we hear you with your white fragility. Because apparently, the only time the system is rigged, other than when Trump and Elon Musk rigged the voting booths, is when diverse voters and judges don't let you trample on everybody else's rights. Who knew fairness was so exhausting? So you see, in all actuality, at the end of the day, the big picture, the proper perspective, it's not just about fairness. It's about resilience. The fight is for fairness, but the journey is about resilience. It's about building a system with so many diverse points of strength that it cannot be broken, at least not by one man or one teeny tiny, mad as hell, ignorant movement. Now, the Kepler beetle transforms and rebuilds from the ground up. Kwame Ture said, organize from the ground up. And DEI, the political voting booth dragon slayer, protects that new growth from being burned down. Transformation and protection all in one. That's the 1-2 punch that they never saw coming. So we do literally see the alt-right failing. It's proving exactly why we needed this strength in the first place. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is both an outward and an inward program. Like I said, it's great to have it in corporate. It's more important to have it in the government. It's more important to have it up and down your streets, because that's when it hits you the hardest. Now I'm going to recap just a little bit, because some people don't believe me when I say that the election results are truly DEI in effect. So most of the reporting has been about the New York mayor, the New Jersey governor, and the Virginia governor. Now, I've already told you, look, we got to add Jay Jones into that, because that's groundbreaking history. And I did a video on that anyhow. But the lieutenant governor race in New Jersey, Dr. Dale Caldwell, first Black man elected to this statewide office. More DEI. Dr. Alicia Johnson in Georgia, elected to the Public Service Commission, becoming the first Black woman on this commission and the first Democrat to win the seat since 2006. More DEI. But I thought Matt Walsh said it was dead. I thought Nick Fuentes said it's over. I thought the alt-right said they're taking their country back. Detroit, Michigan, Mary Sheffield, elected as the first woman mayor of Detroit. Syracuse, New York, Sharon Owens, elected as the city's first Black mayor. Albany, New York, Dorsey Appelers, first Black mayor, all up and down the map. Columbia County, New York, Jackie Salvatore made history as the country's first Black woman sheriff. But county, not country. Columbia County's first black woman sheriff. Now we can go down south. We can look at Conyers, Georgia. We can look at Stockbridge, Georgia. We can look at Swainsboro, Georgia. We got the first black mayor in Conyers. That's Connie Also Brooks. We got the youngest elected mayor in Stockbridge, Georgia, Jaden Williams. Lillian Brown in Swainsboro, Georgia, became the first black person and the first woman elected mayor in Swainsboro. And right back smack dab here in Virginia, House District number 82, House of Delegates, Kimberly Pope Adams. Now, you may have heard a lot about Prop 50 in California, but did you also know that the Democrats appear to have broken another Republican supermajority in the state Senate? This is Mississippi we're talking about. They claim victories in 2 of the redrawn Republican-held districts. Districts which a court had ruled should have greater representation for black voters. So this is the DEI that's winning on the ground. Again, all the while, the puny, tiny victory that they had in corporate America, and even corporate America is sitting back like, y'all do know there's one more boycott coming. We boycotting more this month in November. Now I don't have the information with me, but I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna post it up on my next live. So make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so I can give you that information as well as we continue to break down what I call the unstoppable comeback. So the next time someone tells you, or the next time you hear somebody talking, DEI is dead, DEI is not needed, tell them about the capital of evil. Tell them about New York, New Jersey, Virginia. Oh, you ain't got to tell them because the news is already doing it. Remind them about the immigrant Muslim in New York. Remind them about the first black man in the Virginia Attorney General. Because the comeback isn't really coming. It's already here. And it's being written into the history books as we speak. Now, I got a question for you. And here's a question you could ask them if you hear them talking that yik yak. Yeah, I said yik yak. So was it a strategic blunder by the anti-DEI movement? Maybe all that closet hate mongering. No, I said that wrong. Maybe all that out the closet hate mongering. Maybe it's being told to get yourself back into the closet. Maybe it's being told to get yourself back into them caves where you belong. Perhaps they accidentally made DEI stronger by forcing it to evolve. Because like the campaign trail said for Kamala Harris, yeah, I know she lost, but one of the chants and cheers that came about of that campaign is, we ain't going back. We not going back. We moving forward. And that's what the election says. That's what the election showed. But hey, that's just my proper perspective. Let me know your take in the comments. And maybe if you're not a troll and you got something insightful, hit me with it. I'll pin it on the page. So look, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, pro-Black, Pan-African people all over the world, and anybody that knows how to look beyond the smoke and mirrors. If this opened your eyes, if it resonated with you in any way, share this, hit the like button, share it with a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Because what we do here is we break down the news stories. We put the puzzle pieces together so you can see beyond the smoke and mirrors. So if you hit that like button, if you share this video, and if you subscribe to the channel, I will see you on the next one. Peace.